Welcome everyone to Mental Opt Book Verse. Hi YouTube family, Imari here. What's your relationship with money? And how do you manage your personal finances, investment, and business planning? I wanted to understand more about my personal finances, and a friend of mine recommended this book called The Psychology of Money. I would say that this book is filled with so much tangible lessons that we can learn about how to improve our finances. For my summary, I made some illustrations using some of the lessons from the book, which I'll be sharing with you guys pretty soon. But before then, please do like and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the button in the right hand corner below. Not to waste any time, let's get to the illustrations and I'll see you guys pretty soon. Check it out. How important is money in our lives? Angus Campbell, the American psychologist in the 20th century, conducted research on what makes people happy. Findings from his study show people are generally happier when they had a strong sense of control in their lives. This was irrespective of income, education, material things, or geography. However, in our today's world, having control over time is the highest dividend money pays when managed well. To understand how money influences our lives and how we can manage our finances better, author Morgan Housel wrote the book The Psychology of Money. The psychology of money comes from the concept of looking at money from the context of people's behaviors rather than adhering to strict laws and rules. People's finances aren't a hard science like we see in physics and in the engineering field, where laws and rules apply. People are people and not spreadsheets. They have emotions. Therefore, intellect doesn't make you smarter with money, and managing your finances better depend on a set of soft skills rather than hard science. For example, having a Harvard degree is great, and being a nuclear engineer is awesome. But improper behavior towards our finances can make a high school graduate who has a better handle on his emotions towards money outsmart the highly educated in investments. We see this in the lives of two individuals with two different life experiences. One is the story of Ronald James Reed. Born in rural Vermont, he was one time a janitor and gas station attendant, but also became an investor and an American philanthropist with only a high school degree. When he died in 2014 at the age of 92, he had a net worth of over $8 million. He left $2 million to his stepkids and more than $6 million to his local hospital and library. His philanthropic gestures were an amazement to the locals, as no one knew he had such immense wealth. The other end of the spectrum is a man named Richard Fuscone, who was in the news at the same time Reed died. Fuscone is a Harvard graduate, Merrill Lynch executive, who was regarded as a business genius by his leader and a business magazine. He retired in his 40s to become a philanthropist. However, in the mid-2000s, he borrowed a large sum of money to expand an 18,000 square foot home in Greenwich, Connecticut that had 11 bathrooms, 2 swimming pools, 7 garages, and cost $90,000 a month to maintain. Then, in 2008, the financial crisis happened, and he lost 2 homes, one in Palm Beach, Florida, and the other was his mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut. The mansion was sold in foreclosure auction for 75% less than its worth. Between these two men, it's obvious that Reed was patient and Fuscone was greedy. Building wealth is far from intellect and rigorous laws, but more about managing our behaviors. Investing seems to be a financial leveling field for people from all walks of life. One lesson learned from the book was that our financial outcomes are not guided by individual efforts alone, but equally by forces which the author regarded to as luck. For example, Microsoft founder Bill Gates and co-founder Paul Allen had the competitive edge of attending Lakeside School, which was one of the only high schools with a computer at the time, when most U.S. university graduates didn't have access to advanced computers. There's no doubt Gates and Allen have talent and work extremely hard. They also had the luck of early exposures to advanced computers in a time when most people didn't. While luck and skill play a role in success, people often discard the role of luck, as it can be seen as insulting to base people's success on luck, since it's hard to quantify and it isn't something we can reliably emulate. Therefore, with the influence of luck and risk, we shouldn't feel entitled to our haves and not judge ourselves for our have-nots. Unfortunately, some people do not know when to stop and show gratitude for what they already have. They sometimes risk their already wholesome rich lives for something unnecessary. This sort of greed and insatiable appetite for more is what often leads people to commit foolish crimes like fraud among the wealthy. We see this with the likes of Wall Street financier Bernie Madoff and ex-Goldman director Rajat Gupta, two men who had the privilege of unimaginable wealth, prestige, power, and freedom, then lost it all to their rapaciousness. Both men ended up in prison for their crime. Majority of this insatiable need stems from not knowing when to stop after reaching our goalpost and indulging in the endless ceiling of social comparison and envy. There will always be someone richer than you as you are richer than someone else. Importantly, while attaining financial success is admirable, few things are invaluable, including our reputation, freedom, happiness, family, friends, and love. Sacrificing these over gluttony of wealth is not worth the risk when planning a life of substance. Know when to say enough and be content. That being said, to build our finances, there are certain measures that have stood the test of time, one being the power of compounding. Take, for example, two different individuals. One started investing at an early age of 10 and the other at a later age of 30. Without a doubt, if consistent, the individual that started investing earlier in life will have more assets than the individual who started later. This 10-year-old investor is the brilliant investor Warren Buffett. While we marvel at his investment skills, we often fail to appreciate his leverage on compounding and time. Starting at a young age in investing in the stock market, Buffett became a millionaire at the age of 30. To understand more on the secret of time and compounding, Jim Simon, the hedge fund billionaire, is one of the greatest investors worldwide. While Warren compounded at 22% annually, Simon compounded in money at 66% annually. However, he had less than half of many years to compound as Buffett because he started his investment stride at the age of 50. The author likened compounding potential to planting an oak tree. You don't see much growth after 1 year. We only start to notice a difference after 10 years, an even larger difference after 50 years. You can invest $1 per month, irrespective of what the odds are in the stock market. It doesn't matter if the economist is screaming imminent recession or new bear market. Keep investing. Letting your emotions get in the way of your investment can impede your overall success in investment. The author defines an investing genius to be a man or woman who can do the average thing when those around them are going crazy. Another lesson from the book is the power of savings. Many strategies can make us rich, but remaining wealthy has to do with being prudent without spending. Wealth is having the option to make a purchase at will but choosing not to. It is self-control. Excessive materialism is just ego's approach to income. Similarly, another lesson learned is the effect of tails you win. While the act of investing seems laudable, the reality of investment is about 80% of businesses fail. A few of them fare okay, and others become largely successful. That is why it's advised to spread your investment portfolio to diversify risk. Also keep in mind that successful, influential companies, as we know them, all have a period of struggle and are a result of small wins from small decisions which led to huge outcomes. These small wins, the author calls tail events. For example, Walt Disney initially became popular from the animation Steamboat Willie. However, his first studio went bankrupt. At that time, funding his movie was heinously expensive with outrageous terms. By the mid-1930s, he had produced more than 400 cartoons that were beloved by the viewers, but also most of them lost everything. His production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs changed everything. Earning from this movie was $8 million in the first 6 months, which was higher than anything he had ever earned previously. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the tail event that changed the course of Disney as we know it. Finally, is to stay optimistic with our finances. While pessimism is intellectually captivating than optimism, it is no wonder that we're quick to notice when we experience failure and we forget that success is a journey of tiny steps. Tell someone everything will be great and they are quick to shrug you off. Tell someone they're in danger and you get their full attention. But as the author puts it, real optimism is the belief that the odds of a good outcome are in your favor all the time, irrespective of the challenges you face. In conclusion, our finances are important tools that can help us have control over our lives if proper behavior towards money are put in place. Avoid keeping up with the Joneses and manage your money in a way that helps you sleep at night. And welcome back. The Psychology of Money was an interesting read. The author approached the book from a behavioral context, which was quite different from most of the financial books that I've read in the past. Overall, I did enjoy reading The Psychology of Money and gained some wisdom on how to approach my finances better. If you enjoyed this content, please do like, share, and subscribe. I also look forward to reading your comments, and I would love to hear your suggestions on the kind of non-fiction books you would want me to do a video summary on. Until then, be well, my friends, and remember to keep your mental up. Bye.